Welcome to Hire or Not to Hire Virtual Support, Part 1, Information for Potential Employers and Virtual Support, Trying to Understand This New Virtual Assisting World. If you are watching this video presentation, you are probably an employer or individual with a startup, small or medium-sized business who is starting to feel overwhelmed with the workload and is trying to figure out this virtual assisting world, the various marketplaces that are out there for you to source virtual support from, and whether you or your business should even use or can get real value from taking on virtual support. Well, I hope by the end of this video, you will have a clear picture of this new marketplace and the different types of support. So first, let's start with the reality of this new and fast-growing industry. The reality of the new virtual assisting world. As this new online marketplace continues to work itself out, this new world of virtual assisting on some platforms can be like the wild, wild west. With virtual support at all levels of experience competing for contracts from every corner around the world. Though this new marketplace has opened up a plethora of opportunities to administrative assistants all around the world at all levels of experience for those admins living in high cost of living countries such as the US, Canada, UK, Australia, some parts of Europe, and some parts of Asia, the downside is that these marketplaces have also opened up these opportunities to admins living in low cost of living countries. Now, for some employers, access to those low cost of living admins works great for them and their budget. But if you are running a business that requires your support to live in the same high cost of living country or time zone as you, I will give you suggestions and tips a little later on in this video on how to maximize those administrative dollars. Now, if you are an individual, a startup, a small, medium, or a large business, and you are trying to see if this virtual assisting world can work in your company or life, you will first need to start by assessing your needs. So no matter the size of your company, what should be key in playing a role in whether you go down this road to access virtual support is the following. Number 1, do you as an individual or company have a need for virtual support of some kind? Number 2, what does it look like work-wise? Number 3, where in the company do you have the need? Is the need in accounting, building presentation material, project management, social media management, data entry, checking emails and voicemails daily, etc., or all or a combination of some of the listed areas? Now, if you have read those questions and are still drawing blanks as to the answers, let me mock 2 completely different examples to help you out and make sure your answers are on the right track. The first example, let's say you are running a small consulting company from your home. You have contractors who work with your company on an as-need basis. The filing of papers is nothing dramatic, so you can handle that yourself. But believe it or not, your business is quickly growing. Clients are demanding your services, and you are the key grunt worker that performs the work 95% of the time that generates the income for the company. You are now starting to lose those potential new clients because you are so busy trying to produce the actual work for the current paying clients that you are not able to touch back fast enough with these new potential clients. Also, your calendar and project management papers or emails are soon to get you into serious trouble with your current clients as you are starting to forget important information or key steps. Then, when you add in your personal life into the mix of maybe a partner, kids, personal or family obligations, getting enough sleep, eating, showering, you're finding that there is just not enough hours in the day to get on track, and your stress level is heading towards situation critical. Now, you could go out there and hire a physical person to come into your home, But for some, trusting a stranger in their home when they are out working can be uncomfortable. But if you hire a physical person to come into your home and work, they will be considered an employee, and depending on where you live, you may be required to pay government taxes and benefits. And in most cases, most employees who are being paid for 48 hours a day are actually only performing work half the time. In this scenario, I would highly recommend that you take on virtual support over physical support. Now let's move on to a second example. Let's say you're running a six-figure or seven-figure online business, so you generate a lot of revenue, but your business just doesn't require an office space as your company is small physically enough for you to run it from your home and your staff can work from their homes virtually. Or let's say you sell a physical product and the only space you need to rent is a small shipping and receiving area, as the rest of your business can be run from home using a cloud-based application. As I noted in the first example, you could go out and hire a physical person to come in and do work, but all the same criteria as they would be considered an employee would apply. This is another scenario where I would highly recommend that you consider taking on virtual support as opposed to a physical person. Now I will discuss the different types of support and costs in more detail in part 2 of this video presentation for you to contract the one that is best suited for your business. If my examples have helped you know for certain that this is a road you would like to go down, then now it is time to figure out the answers to these next set of questions you need to ask yourself. And they are: number 1, do you require a short-term, long-term, or project-by-project basis support? Number 2, do you require them to work and or live in your time zone, country, city, state, or province, or is their location not a concern? 3, will they work virtually or a combination of virtual and at your location? 4, what's your personality type? Are you the type of person who would like a virtual support that you can send an email or talk to on the phone 1 to 2 times a day and will feel confident and comfortable that they will just get it done with no micromanagement required? Or are you the type of person who likes to micromanage your support and send emails and or call every time you have a thought or idea? 5, do you need a support for basic simple tasks and projects, intermediate level tasks and projects, or high-skilled advanced level tasks or projects? 6, do you require these tasks and projects to be performed daily, weekly, monthly, or once for a specific time frame? 7, how many hours a day, week, or month do you require support? 8, what duties and responsibilities do you require of your virtual support? 9, what is the hourly or weekly rate you can afford to pay your virtual support? Now, please be realistic with that number, and your answers to these questions will play key in the type of support you should select and the amount of compensation that support may cost. There are a few options with slight and significant differences to the different types of virtual support, and they are a virtual assistant, virtual administrative assistant, virtual executive assistant, or a virtual project administrator or virtual project manager. Now, it's time to decide how you will source out one of the various types of virtual support, remembering to keep in mind your answers to the questions you answered earlier. Number 1, do you want to use a freelance website such as Upwork, People Per Hour, Jobless, Guru, Freelancer, etc.? There are many more, but those are some of the top ones. 2, do you want to use a virtual support company in your country or city with vetted support? 3, do you want to hire a virtual support directly from their website? 4, do you want to post a job posting locally in your community for virtual support using avenues such as Craigslist, Indeed, government job banks, or other paid job sites? Then once you have sourced a potential contractor, when reviewing proposals, cover letters, or resumes, using your answers to all the questions noted earlier in this video, look to see if they have the following. Number 1, the skills and or past work experience doing the type of work you need or any transferable skills. Number 2, are there any skills they have that may be valuable to you later once your business starts to grow? For example, you may need an assistant in the beginning to just start out doing some basic simple tasks and projects as you're a new startup or small home-based business. But they have skills that you know will be valuable to helping your business grow later on, especially for those employers who want long-term support, who can grow with the needs of the company, and their intermediate and advanced skills will be a great value to the bottom line later on. Now, I will discuss in more detail in my other video, Virtual Assisting in the 21st Century, another technique on how to maximize your administrative dollars when hiring a virtual support that has a higher hourly rate so that you can get the best assistant and still save money. Now, if you choose to source virtual support on your own without a middleman like an agency that hires and contracts out virtual support, no matter how you choose to acquire your support, you should always either do a phone or Skype interview and use that opportunity to ask more detailed questions about their past experience that you did not get answers to in the proposal, cover letter, or resume. Also, when sourcing support on your own, always make sure that you choose one that you have a personality click with and that you feel has a passion for being a virtual support and hopefully an interest in the type of business you're running. As when you choose to hire a support who has an interest and a passion for your type of business, they are more likely to stay with you longer. Also note that I highly do not recommend that you focus solely on getting the cheapest rate you can when sourcing virtual support, especially if you need them long term, as you are taking a serious risk that the cheap for you won't come out expensive in the end. As a virtual support who undervalues their skills in the marketplace to get your contract, may be doing so due to being inexperienced or desperate, and are more likely to just use you to get to the next higher paying job, and will eventually move on. And that is how that very cheap rate you got now becomes expensive, as when you take into account factors like your personal hourly rate to perform the work you do for your clients, now being wasted when you have to devote those hours to resourcing a new virtual support. And once again, when you're solely focusing on that cheap rate, you could be doing this multiple times within a year. And that is how that famous quote, sometimes the cheap will come out expensive in the end. So now on to answering the question you seek the answer to, and the title of this video, to hire or not to hire virtual support. I first think you need to understand that there are some differences between a freelancer virtual assistant, virtual administrative or executive assistant, and virtual project administrator or virtual project manager, and the estimated cost to acquire them. And in part 2 of my video presentation, I will break down each role and the differences, provide some projected costs per hour or week, and ways to maximize those administrative dollars. I'd like to thank you for watching this video presentation. If you found this video informative, then please make sure that you like it. Then also make sure that you watch the continuation of this video to hire or not to hire virtual support Part 2. And don't forget to also subscribe to my channel by clicking on the subscribe button below, as I will continue to have future videos on the virtual world. And also in my information box below this video, you will see links to my blog where I have more detailed information on being a virtual support and some other information you could use in this virtual assisting world as a support and as an employer. Thank you for watching.